We're going to begin with the news, though, and that is in Russia this morning. New signs that President Vladimir Putin is tightening his crackdown inside Russia. The latest evidence involving a dual American citizen. Reports say that Ksenia Karelina, an amateur ballerina in L.A., has been charged with treason in Russia on a trip back to visit her parents. The White House says it's trying to get more information. This is all we have so far. Meanwhile, Russian police continue to arrest people who are simply mourning outspoken Putin critic Alexey Navalny. And President Biden, in response, is vowing to hit Russia hard with new sanctions. Nancy Cordes will join us in a moment on that, but we're going to begin our coverage with Imtiaz Tayyab on the developing situation in Russia. Imtiaz, good morning.
Tony, good morning to you. Well, Vladimir Putin's crackdown, across Russia is only widening following the death of opposition leader Alexey Navalny as his supporters continue to face arrest and as another American with dual Russian citizenship is jailed on charges of espionage and treason.
An amateur ballerina and recent U.S. citizen, Ksenia Karelina, is now a prisoner in Russia. The dual American and Russian citizen was arrested in the central city of Ekaterinburg earlier this month on suspicion of treason and fundraising for Ukraine's army after making a $51 donation to a Ukrainian charity. She was also accused of attending pro-Ukraine rallies in the U.S. Her former mother-in-law told CBS News she fears for Karelina's life.
I'm very, very concerned about her. About her physical being. We know that Navalny was just killed a few days ago. We know it wasn't just a death, it was a murder.
Another American, Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, learned on Tuesday a Moscow court rejected his appeal against his detention. He's been in custody since last March pending trial on espionage charges he denies. Jeff Hahn is a Russia expert.
The arresting of American citizens is something I think we're going to see continue, especially because Russia increasingly is engaging in hostage diplomacy.
If found guilty, both Karelina and Gershkovich could face up to 20 years in prison. In Vladimir Putin's Russia, mourning the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny can also cost people their freedom. Since Monday, human rights groups say hundreds have been detained at memorials in dozens of cities across the country. While for Navalny, even in death, the late opposition leader still hasn't been able to escape the Kremlin's grip. Despite pleas from his wife and mother, the father of two's remains have yet to be released to his family.
And President Putin's crackdown on dissent is potentially widening outside of Russia's borders. A Russian helicopter pilot who defected to Ukraine in August was found shot to death in Spain last week. Maxim Kuzmanov's daring, high-profile defection was a big propaganda win for Ukraine at the time. Now, there has been no official comment from Russian authorities about Kuzmanov's death. But when asked about it, the director of Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service called him a traitor, criminal, and moral corpse. Gayle.
Oh, boy, very strong language there. Thank you very much, MTS.